What if everything you thought you knew about the Beatles' breakup was wrong? For decades, the story has been the same. The Beatles broke up in 1970, and the world pointed fingers at fame, at money, at egos. But more than anything, one woman bore the brunt of the blame, Yoko Ono. And now, at 82, Paul McCartney finally speaks the truth. Not just about Yoko, not just about John, but about what really happened behind the closed doors of the world's most iconic band. Back in the 1960s, the Beatles were untouchable, global legends redefining music with every album. But by the end of that golden decade, something had changed. The camaraderie cracked, the chemistry soured, and by 1970, it all came crashing down. For years, the story was simplified for headlines. Yoko Ono broke up the Beatles. She was the outsider, the distraction, the wedge between Lennon and McCartney. And yes, Paul McCartney did resent her at the time. He said so himself. He recalled how, during the recording of the White Album, Yoko was constantly in the studio, an unheard-of intrusion for the band. Though the others didn't confront it directly, tensions simmered. McCartney called it interference, an unspoken disruption of their sacred creative space. But here's the twist. That's not the whole truth. In a recent episode of his podcast, Life in Lyrics, McCartney opened up in a way he never had before. His words? Surprising, thoughtful, and honest. Was it awkward? Sure. But if John wanted her there, she had every right to be. He loved her. Who were we to say no? He now admits that blaming Yoko Ono for the band's breakup was an oversimplification, a convenient narrative that ignored a far more complex reality. According to Paul, the band had already begun to fracture long before Yoko entered the picture. Let's take a closer look. By the late 60s, each Beatle had evolved into their own creative force. Lennon was veering into avant-garde experiments with Yoko by his side. McCartney preferred structured melodic pop. George Harrison was producing some of his best work, but often felt ignored. Ringo Starr was caught in the middle of it all. It was no longer a brotherhood. It was four powerful individuals trying to move in different directions. Behind the scenes, things were breaking down. The band stopped touring. Tensions ran high in the studio. Management collapsed after the death of Brian Epstein. Paul clashed bitterly with new manager Alan Klein, even filing a lawsuit to protect the band's finances. Lennon, quietly but decisively, told them he was leaving first. Yet when the public needed someone to blame, McCartney took the fall, and Yoko took the hate. After the breakup, Paul spiraled. Isolated in Scotland, he turned to alcohol and questioned everything: his future, his music, even his purpose. It wasn't until his wife Linda pushed him to write again that he began to rebuild. From that pain came Wings, a solo legacy, and eventually, reflection. In later interviews, Paul confessed that his early anger toward Yoko masked deeper fears about losing John, about the band's future, and about change. But now he sees it differently. Yoko wasn't the villain. She was John's partner. They were a force, a team. And with those words, he finally laid the myth to rest. So what really ended the Beatles? Was it Yoko? Was it Lennon's ambition? Was it Paul's perfectionism? Harrison's frustration? The weight of fame? The answer, all of it. The Beatles didn't break up because of one person. They broke up because they had outgrown each other. Because the magic that once united them had become a cage. And because, like all great stories, it had to end. But what do you think? Did Yoko Ono deserve the hate? Was McCartney unfairly blamed? And what might have happened if the Beatles stayed together? Let us know in the comments. Your take could be the missing piece of this legendary story. And if this gave you a whole new perspective on music history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because the truth behind legends is always more fascinating than the myth.